So today I want to talk about the importance of surrounding yourself with positive people. So in anything in life, you're going to face times of adversity, and it's who you surround yourself that can often determine or dictate how well you come through those challenging times. So if you can resonate with that, keep watching, keep on listening. This will be very relevant to you. Welcome back to consecutive day 1981 of a diary of a runpreneur. And today's episode is all about the importance of surrounding yourself with positive people. But before we get into that, let's not forget that this vlog is part of a fundraiser for saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style. And the more people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. So back to the topic at hand, the importance of surrounding yourself with positive people. So have you ever heard of the analogy crabs in a bucket? If you haven't, what it means by that is that the crabs in a bucket analogy is, if ever you've watched a bucket full of crabs, it's specifically relevant if you've got young children and you potentially take the kids to the coast to do a bit of crabbing along the shoreline. It's quite a popular thing in and around the coastline, certainly around East Anglia and in the UK. And what you'll find is when you have a bucket full of crabs, they'll all be trying to scamper to escape the bucket. And as soon as one of them gets a little bit of headway and is making a bit of progress towards getting anywhere near the top of the bucket, the other crabs will grab that crab and pull him back down. That's just what they do. And the reality is do you want to be surrounded by crabs? Well, you know what I mean with the analogy, so to speak. As in, if you're trying to make headway or progress in life and you've got people pulling you back, do you want to be surrounded with those people? Or do you want to be surrounded by people who pull you forward or push you forward because they believe and support you in whatever you're doing? And that's the importance of today's message, is that sometimes you have to look at the 5 people you spend the most of your time surrounded by. They will often dictate or determine your success levels or likelihood of success based on the support that they provide you, whether they pull you back or push you forward. I know what type of person I'd want to be around. And the reality is, it's a hard thing to do as well, because most people, significantly most people in this world, are people who will always look at things from a negative frame of mind. That's just how humans are wired initially. I.e., when we come across situations in life, we turn into survival mode where it's flight, fight, or freeze, isn't it? And you don't necessarily always want to pick the fight, but you want to have a proactive approach to doing it. But the point I'm making is our human senses will always make us feel worried and want to protect ourselves from a survival perspective, first and foremost, before they would ever look at anything positively or proactively. And then moving on from that, when you go back to kind of human nature for why people are negative, you then reinforce that by the 90-10 principle, which is a principle that is about how you control your destiny ultimately. And the reality of life is that 10% of your life will be stuff that happens, stuff that people do that you have zero control over. It's going to happen regardless. And the 90% of your life is dictated to by how you choose to respond to the 10% of your life. Now, that's quite jaw-dropping, because a lot of people will respond to that 10% in a negative way, i.e. they would worry or panic or be stressed or overwhelmed, all that side of things. And that's just going to, potentially make you panic and freeze, chuck those kind of negative emotions into the mix, and it's going to amplify the reality that things are worse off than they really are. And potentially it's going to hinder your progression. Or you could choose to be someone who looks at that 90% from a positive frame of mind and says, okay, I couldn't control this, but this has happened. Now I'm going to take control of this situation. This is how I decide to deal with this situation. And when you take control and you choose how you decide to deal with it, you're putting rational, logical thought into play, which is a reducing the impact of emotions, and you're potentially then looking forward or proactively how you're going to handle the situation at hand. And that's the secret. If you can learn to do that more often than not, nobody's going to do it 100% of the time because that's unrealistic, but if you can just do it more often than reacting with panic and emotion, negative reactions, then your life is going to exponentially change direction for the better. And that's the important part to understand. So the point of today's discussion is, if you're surrounded by people who focus proactively on situations more than focus negatively or reactively upon situations, then they're going to be the people that push you forward or pull you forward, rather than the ones who focus negatively or reactively to adversity, and they're the ones who are going to hold you back. Scaremongering, propaganda, all these types of things that are going to pull you back down into that bucket full of crabs. So the learnings from my diary for today is to understand the importance of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You can include your family in this, or you can exclude them. I like to kind of maybe have a hybrid approach, maybe include your spouse or your partner. I wouldn't worry about your children at this stage if you have children, but I then look at the next kind of 4 people that you are spending most of your time with. Usually it will be mainly people vocationally, because quite often we spend more time with work colleagues than we do with friends, but there might be a friend in there as well. But think long and hard about who those people are, and are they people who are proactive, positive minded people who are going to push you forward and support you in achieving your goals, milestones, projects, etc., or are they going to be crabs in a bucket, negatively focused, reactive to situations, highly emotive, who are going to scaremonger, worry you more, pull you back down when the going gets tough? I know who I'd rather be surrounded with, and I'm sure after this episode you do too. So think long and hard about who you spend the lion's share of your time with, and if you can make a change in a positive way, trust me, it could be exponentially worth it. So anyway, that's it from me. Any questions or comments, drop me a line, anything relevant I'll respond to. Do remember though, if you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you again tomorrow.